One of the ways I'm learning French is by going through endless political blogs. I got tired of just doing lessons, and so early morning translation always appeals to me because I like the early morning. And if you watch French political blogs, particularly in America, and on the far right movement in America, I mean things like fundamentalism, Christian, but also trad wives, and also body modification. Time and time again, I'm looking at how they're struggling to describe, these are all left-wing blogs, how they're just trying to describe it in French and then try to react to it. And it makes me understand when I'm thinking about my own feelings. I was watching one about trad wives this morning and it made me, it kind of deprived me of words. And I like words. I like arguments. I like thinking. I like finding ways to devise a language to reach people I cannot otherwise understand. I guess I've spent my life doing it. It's what maths teaching is all about. Because you can only teach kids if you can speak to them. So you're forever trying to think of ways to describe things in a language they understand that takes them to another language. Okay? It's the secret of good teaching. And yet, here was something where I couldn't even begin to frame the words. So a traditional anti-feminist movement that supports Trump, that supports what they're calling Christianity, that is, for my mind, an utterly modern thing. There's a lovely phrase in Brighton Revisited. It's a totally modern phenomena that only this time could have created. Banal and extreme. And here you can see my insults already start. And yet it clearly resonates. All this faux history is resonating with whole groups of people and giving them a language that I find, as a member of, the educated liberal classes, I guess, ex-teacher and the rest of it, almost impossible to understand, to comprehend, to inhabit. Way back when, the Anglo-Saxons had a wonderful phrase for what the role of the skald was. The skald, the lord-giver, the scop. And it was they were the masters of the word hoard. They invented the language in which thought could happen. And watching these being translated into French and translating it back to myself into English, I'm so aware of how on the left we've lost control of the word hoard. There's whole orders that it's become very difficult to describe and to understand. Now, the left has always prided itself on that ability to articulate the pain and suffering of people who are otherwise forgotten, giving them a language to describe that suffering. But in this illusion of privilege, I find myself speechless. And in a world where you need language, we need to find ways to describe what is happening to us, how we're being traduced and seduced and pulled in different directions, even as the climate really starts to warm up and become gloriously unpredictable. This utter fracturing of language. A fracturing that all the left-wing movements the last decade and a half, all the Occupy and all the XR, have not impacted at all. That's another film. I have endless things to say about that. It makes me more depressed, I think, than I've been in a very, very long time. Behold, a teacher who cannot preach, who cannot reach those who they clearly need to talk to. So my God, how are we going to get back control of a word hoard? I'd better get back to my dog.